That is essentially what you're trying to do with marketing, is getting people to act in a way that they may not have acted otherwise because of what she had built up and how effective her campaign was.
Acting on emotion. There's so many different things that we do that we purchase because it made us feel a certain way. And she was making people purchase because she was making them feel a certain way.
You have to understand the psychology of people, how they think, how they react to things, their responses, what stimulates that motivation to do something or purchase something. I think if you have that, then it doesn't matter what you're marketing. Do you understand people's actions? Like, what motivates them? What's the universal message here that will get that kind of response from people? You have to be so perceptive who your audience is, but then also how they think.
So today we are mob boss wives.
We're dressing for the part we want.
Why is it harder to sit?
Wow, yeah, you're having troubles over there.
It's a lot happening.
You look fabulous.
Thank you so much. So do you. Every time I sit in this chair, it feels different. I don't know why.
It adjusts to your aura.
I'm like, I'll just start getting used to it. No. So today we're doing overalls, matching twins overalls.
Yes.
If you're new here, we bought these overalls not together, but together.
Right. See, it all started, they should go back through our TikToks because we did a TikTok about it the day that you first came in with them. And you're like, I forgot I had these. I found them. And I was like, you look amazing.
They're standing pants, really.
Right. They're not good sitting pants, but sit sleigh, stand sleigh,
whatever.
You know, whatever. We're going to try to go for both, but it's really a standing sleigh. But she wore them, and then I don't know if I dared you to switch outfits with me or you dared me to try them on.
I was just kind of like, prove it. If they look that good, prove it.
And I was like, okay, maybe you need to see them on someone else to see how cute they are, but on you. Because I thought they would look terrible on me because I'm like 4 inches taller than you. And I'm like, these are never going to fit me because, second of all, despite the height difference, they're also children's overalls.
They are children's overalls.
So I was like, you will appreciate how hot you look when you see how bad I look. Joke was on us because they looked good on both of us.
So they've a little bit become Sisterhood of the Traveling Overalls. And then she went out and got listen, the fact that they're the same, not only exact overall, exact rips in the knees, same size. Yeah. Why? How are we the same size? There's like a 2-foot height difference between us. I am a short, round girl. You are the tall,
curvy girl.
No, you're not.
I am.
We're in the total. It truly is traveling sister pants.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it doesn't make sense that we have the same jeans. Anyway, that's the story of the jeans.
Yeah.
And
so sometimes we coordinate and make sure we wear them on the same day.
In fact, I think my words to you this morning were, it's like, do you feel skinny enough to wear them today? Because they're really like, you have to be like just in the right part of the month to feel skinny enough to wear them. So it was like, I squeezed them on today. And then we both got new fur.
Yeah.
New fur. If you're still here listening, not over this conversation by now.
Why aren't you watching on YouTube?
Why aren't you
already?
If you're listening at all, at
you're
this
missing
point.
a whole layer.
Yes. So I got new fur, and
she's in like ermine white. It's
ermine.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's just like this gorgeous white.
Which is crazy because
Winter Queen
I cannot
vibe.
be trusted with white, and it's like
I look like oh wow, I can't say what I was just gonna say.
What is the words I want? You look like you belong with the family from Frozen that has the sauna.
I haven't seen Frozen, so
what?
I don't know.
Where
what
they have
means.
a big winter blowout during the winter.
I have like caveman fur pelt kind of colored faux fur going on
I can't think
today.
of words. I can't think of the words I want of the type of.
It's probably not a good visual I'm giving people who aren't.
Just get on
seeing
YouTube
it.
if you're
I'm
not
like,
if you're not watching us on
caveman
YouTube yet.
pelt. Don't imagine me in a caveman pelt. Nobody needs that visual in their brain.
That visual.
So just go to YouTube and see what is actually happening.
feel
It'll
like-
make your day much better.
Yeah, I feel like this is a really good example of how we're wearing the same thing and yet still two
So
very
different.
different personalities. So, and I wore my sharpest nails for
They're
this.
kind of low-key
They
terrifying.
really are good for stabbing.
Yeah, that's all I think.
I put my contacts in and out of my eyeballs with these things.
No, you can't possibly. How is that possible?
Dangerous.
It's like half inch, and they are
Dan-
actually like
danger.
to a point. They're not like
I know.
square nails or even oval. That is like
I know.
I need to do some damage, kind of. I walk home alone at night, kind of nails.
I should have worn them on my trip because I couldn't take my mace with me. But these are real
Yeah.
weapons. So
How those
Yeah.
shouldn't be anywhere near.
in fact,
your
I didn't
eyeballs.
even file them down. They were so sharp. I was like, oh, I'm not filing these at all.
See, I would like take an eye out if I tried to do anything like that.
I actually put them on initially for the Kentucky Derby. So because
I love that you do that too.
I should put up a picture of me at the Kentucky Derby.
Yes. You guys do it. You do it every year.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's a good excuse to
I always
dress up
forget when it's happening.
ridiculously.
And I used to photograph horse shows. Like I should be all over that.
Next year, okay, so next year you need to come, and next year you need to dress just as ridiculously as I
I
did
need
this
an
year.
excuse.
Oh, and that reminds me, we're gonna move on to real marketing things in a second, guys. I promise. What are those things called? What is it called?
Fascinator.
Okay, so fascinators. I'm bringing them back. I'm bringing them back in
Yes.
style. I should have worn mine today, but too
I
much.
need to find one in Texas.
Okay.
And we're going to wear when I come back. The next podcast we do after I'm back.
Okay, fascinator.
I'm going to
episode.
find something obnoxious.
Because there's something about having a fascinator on that's just like I'm the actual queen of England here.
I love it.
So I'm bringing them back. I'm gonna get lots of head turns. Like I don't get enough already. But
Right.
yeah.
Will you be able to handle the onslaught
I love
of
it.
attention?
I love it. I told you when I was
That's true.
in France, just like, oh my gosh, everyone taking my picture. So I'm used to it. People do it a lot, but anyway. Yeah, so we're all decked out today.
That's great.
Just for
Feels
you guys.
good.
Just for you guys. I'm like, I can't. I made these last all week just so we could do this. I'm working on brakes tomorrow. I'm putting brakes on my friend's car tomorrow. So I'm like, these are coming off. I'm going into mechanic mode. And these if I can actually, I should see how long I can keep them on while I do
should.
brakes.
White nails while you're doing car mechanics. Like, yeah.
That's gonna be gross.
I
I
couldn't
could take a
handle it.
picture. Maybe I could put that in here.
You should.
Anyway, so what are we talking about today?
We're talking about scamming. Specifically, we're bringing in a little bit of our true crime. Like,
Enough time has passed that I can tell you of my
hobby.
crimes.
No, but we love, like in the office, several of us love true crime. And so we're talking about Scamanda.
Scamanda. Amanda Riley.
Yes.
Yes. So I watched it, and then you watched it. We were like, well, so this has to be. Actually, was it Christina?
Christina was telling me about it. And I was like, I don't know this story. And I'm so glad I didn't watch it when it came out because it was while my mom was going through her cancer
Was it that long ago?
surgery. Yeah. She was going through her whole. Yeah, because it was right before the pandemic.
The documentary was?
Yeah, there was a documentary done a few years ago, and then there was a more recent documentary that was done.
Oh.
So when it first aired, that was like right in the middle of my mom's cancer journey. And if I had seen it then, I probably would have driven to her house and
Yeah.
done bad things.
Yeah.
Because it made me so enraged when I just saw the details and learned the details and stuff. So, but yeah, interesting story. Most people have probably have heard of it or knew, but I maybe was the last person to not know about her. But there are so many. It's amazing that she could pull off what she did.
Yes.
And so we're kind of dissecting it from a marketing standpoint. Like, why did her marketing of herself, which is essentially what she did,
So if you don't know,
work so well?
Yeah, if you don't know
Yeah.
anything about the story, she pretended that she had cancer. She milked money off of like tons of people.
Mega church.
Yeah.
She had fundraisers
Right.
with local restaurants.
Yeah. So she just made a lot of money over lying about having cancer.
Yeah.
So
She sold her story.
yeah,
Basically.
sold it well. And so we're
Yeah.
like, marketing angle on that.
She did some really smart thing. Terrible person.
Terrible
human
person.
being. But she did some really smart things.
Scamming works, like, if you do it right.
Not that marketing isn't scamming. It can be. But in
can be.
general, it's not. But it is manipulative. Because
It is.
on some level.
Mm-hmm.
Some go hard on that direction. But all marketing is manipulation if you really stop and think about it. Because you are trying to tap into people's emotions and help them to realize that they need something that you have.
Yeah.
So there is a little bit of manipulation there, but she took it to like next level. Like the way she did it wasn't ethically right.
No.
But there were several things that she did that you could glean from it that were like, okay, this is a good concept, but don't do it the way she did it.
Right. So
Yeah.
starting this all out by being like, we think she sucks and
Right.
is a bad person.
Evil person.
But what are the marketing parallels here?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. What were the things that she did right that made this so successful for her?
Yeah.
Because it was over $100,000 in donations, I think, total.
Was that it?
Yeah.
I thought it was more than that.
Or 105. I think it was a number like that.
Okay.
But I thought it was interesting because they said in the documentary that it all started with an offhand comment, like one of her neighbors or one of her best friends had said something about how they found out a family that they knew, the mom had cancer, and so they immediately went into like, what can we do? How can we help? How can we, writing checks and that like planted a seed in her brain. Like
she can make money.
It was like the next day or a few days later, she called that friend who relayed that story to her and was like, I have stage 4 cancer. It's lymphoma. It's bad. Number one, I would have been like, this sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how people were just like, oh my God, really?
Especially like knowing what kind of you had. Did you have no gut instinct about what kind of human this was?
I don't know. Some people don't. Some people don't have that intuition.
Because you have to be a bad person to do this.
Yeah.
Like if you ever called me and said you had cancer, I would never doubt it.
See, that's the thing. Most people wouldn't. So like one of the things that she did was she banked on people's goodwill.
But I do know people that if they called me and told me they had cancer, I might be like, do you? Simply because of who they are.
So that's like lesson number 1, know your audience. She knew that this friend would believe her.
Okay.
She knew her audience. This was a good friend of hers. She had this conversation with this friend and knew she was the heart on the sleeve. Like someone is in need. I'm going to help them. I will empty my pockets and help them if I can.
She must have had money too.
Yes. Her friend was wealthy and they had been friends for a while. Like this wasn't just, she wasn't newly friends with this person and then suddenly trying to prey on her kindness. There was a developed relationship here. She knew this person. And
that does make it even more legitimate.
So she knew her audience. She knew how to cater to, she knew the words to say, and she knew
who to go to. Yeah.
Who to go to. Yeah. Because she didn't go tell all of her friends. She told this one friend and then word got out. And then it was like people had a cause.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I guess that's a good point. Like, I don't know. I joke I would not believe certain people, but I do think I would probably believe like 99.9% of people who would come to me with that.
Right.
It would take a really scandalous person in my life who I'm like, you're kind of known for being a liar, to be like, no, you don't. Do you really? Like, but if someone I felt like I knew pretty well and didn't have a history of lying to me,
Right.
I'd probably be like, I'd have no reason to question that.
Right.
And especially if I was a wealthy person and was a giving person, like, why wouldn't I?
Right.
Yeah. And she knew that.
Yeah. And you think about too, like, she was very strategic in what she chose to use as her hook. Cancer.
Yeah.
Who hasn't been affected by that?
Right.
And when they were interviewing several of the people that were in like her community and in her friend circle, you know, part of her support group, several of them had either had cancer herself. Her stepdaughter
Oh, yeah.
had cancer.
Yeah.
Went through a terrible fight with cancer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of the rage-inducing thing for me. Like, so her stepdaughter was like in her corner immediately because like if you've gone through what
Something
someone
yourself,
else is saying, they're now entering that same journey, you're like, oh,
Hyper
let me
empathy.
be your guide.
Yeah.
Let me help you through this.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've been in those trenches. Like, I will help you. However I can, I'm here for you. She tapped into that. Like, and I think that was also very smart of her when she figured out what that hook was going to be. Like, what's going to be how am I going to get this off the ground? How am I going to get that money coming in? It's like you use that big emotion.
Because if she said some random
right
disease, people, it's not as triggering because it's kind of like, is that deadly? Like, is that a big deal?
How bad
Might be a few
what
people.
What are the statistics here?
Right, but everybody universally knows, like, cancer, that you hear just that word quickly, it immediately puts into your brain, like, death, bad, like death sentence, like, it's just, and so, no, you don't even, literally, within a second, it puts all of that into, as soon as you hear that word. But another disease might not do that. It makes you go, what is that?
Right.
Is that bad?
You
like,
instantly hear Sarah McLachlan playing in the background.
Right.
Like, oh, I'm going to give everything, even if I don't have anything.
Yeah.
And I think, so that was super effective too. She knew who to talk to and she knew what to make the core of her message was, this is a cancer fight. And she had 2 small kids.
Oh, it's so sick.
You know, I'm a young mother.
The nerve, like, I
Stage
can't get
4.
past the nerve of it.
I think there was some like deep narcissism involved, like, because she still was like scamming people in prison. That was the last I heard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was still like asking to be taken to the ER like every other day.
Certain kind of because
there's something,
I'm just like,
there's something broken
in my life
brain.
whenever I've told them like the smallest lie, I'm sick over it for weeks. So I can't imagine telling one that hurtful, that damaging on such a large scale, and being like, and I'd do it again,
right? Because and it's just interesting, the steps. Like, it was like there were so many layers to this, and that's what also made it believable too. Like, it was a well orchestrated campaign. Basically, she used so many different channels to get her message out there and to create emotion and to create community. And she really built that up so that it seemed like you couldn't question it. Like, what else could be happening?
And in hindsight, that probably could have been a red flag, because I'm like, people who are going through stage 4 cancer, just as a person who has watched someone die of stage 4 cancer, you don't have a lot of energy.
No.
Certainly not to be campaigning. Campaigning to be alive is all you've got. So the campaign of like all these different platforms where she's just like happily typing away about like her day-to-day life, when you're in stage 4, you don't have that in you.
But people, and this is where the marketing tricks, like, it was just enough to get people to take action without really stopping and picking it apart.
Yeah.
And I think because she did enough of the right things to get people to do what she wanted them to do. So like, she she told the right people. She had the right core message to get people to act. But then she did all the other things. Like she became part of several community groups, became part of the local megachurch. So she like expanded her audience in simple steps. Like it didn't, she chose like ways to increase her audience that weren't a lot of effort.
Yeah.
So, which is also a brilliant marketing strategy.
Yeah.
You go for what's going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. And that's
Correct.
basically what she did.
Correct.
Like, how do I increase my audience without much from me? Like,
Right.
it's not going to take a lot out of me to do that.
Right.
So she did that. She also started a blog online after telling everybody, and she called it My Journey, my blog, My Journey, or something like that. And so she posted a lot with regular posts. So people came to like, kept coming back.
Yeah.
They wanted
the regularity.
to keep up with the story. And there again, you know, another brilliant marketing tactic. You keep up with the information.
Yeah.
You keep,
People
it's like
wanting
added
more.
value.
People
You're
want
like,
more.
you're giving them more information. And people became drawn into her story. It became part of their daily life to check in every week or every day. I can't remember the frequency that she was posting. And she used a lot of imaging.
Yeah. Triggering imaging.
Yes. Like her with... And that still blows my mind, like how she did that. I mean, she was
all the medical equipment.
She was going into hospital environments and doctors' offices.
She was like making use
while,
of her time,
I mean,
her studio time there.
Seriously, you're stuck waiting for the doctor to come in for how long usually?
Bold.
You know, when you're on these appointments.
So bold.
So she's just like going through drawers and like finding things and like taping things to her face to make it look like she's there getting treatment. And I'm just like, it's diabolical.
It
like,
is.
I can't even begin to imagine being like that. But so she was really smart about using imagery to keep that connection.
Yeah.
And images do a lot. Like, we're such visual people. I mean, why do those Sarah McLachlan puppy commercials work?
Exactly.
You see these like quivering dogs and you're just like, take my money.
Yep.
And it's the same thing.
Yep.
She's like, look at me, mom of 2 small kids. In my stage 4 cancer journey, we're back for
IV in the arm,
another round of chemo. And you're just like, oh, this poor woman, she's just going through it. So she used not just writing, but also imaging, you know, visuals to really create that narrative that created an online community. And then having the church community that also supported her, like her network was huge. She ended up building this huge following. You doing just really simple things, but they were effective.
Yeah.
And that's such a good strategy too. Like it doesn't always have to, I mean, this definitely was a big production, but when you boil it down to what she did, they're simple steps.
Right, right.
So,
yeah, it's not that complicated when you break it down.
No. And so you don't have to have like...
She had good execution.
Her level.
Psycho.
But it does show too...
Commitment.
Right.
Commitment.
But I think another thing that she did was she built a website on her own too.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and opened it up for donations. And so money was like pouring in that way. So website construction, like she's ticking all the boxes with this campaign.
Yeah,
she's just like doing it all, making sure this website was like, I think they used, they did these promotional videos too that they were putting on the website and online, like on their social platforms of her, like, just footage of her family and her with the kids at the beach to like fight song. That was like the track over all this video.
Yeah.
And so it was like her Sarah McLachlan moment. You know, people were just like equating that imagery and that song. Like it became...
It is motivational to take out your credit card. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. They were like, oh, look at this. And so there was all this... you know, promotional stuff that happened. And then they had, because of all that and because of the community created by that and the narrative that she was promoting that they were just eating up and believing, her supporters would then turn around and actively promote her. So she got word of mouth.
Yes.
Which is like such a huge thing for
yes,
businesses.
It really is.
You know, and that is almost, I think, the most brilliant part of her strategy, because that is one of the most, if not the most effective way
I really feel like it's
a
the
business
most.
can grow.
I
Because when you hear it directly from someone who's your friend, someone you respect, someone that, like in her case, people who had cancer
Yes.
were promoting her.
Right.
So, I mean, how much better?
Yep.
You can't put a price tag on that kind of advertising or that kind of marketing.
Yep.
So, the word of mouth, getting people to promote her on their own social media channels was just a brilliant move.
It sounds like just in general, her living in so many different places gave her so much opportunity to make money. So she's got her website donation, and she was, I think if she had the GoFundMe or all the other ways that she had to go.
She got a friend to start, someone who had cancer, started that.
Yep. And then she was taking, in my memory, there's one instance at the church where they had never done this before, where she gave this motivational speech and then everyone came up and threw money on the stage.
Yeah.
So it was like, she was like
thousands of dollars they ended up walking with.
Which again, a genius, because I'm like, you look like such a jerk if you're not one of the people walking up throwing money at her. But so many different opportunities to draw in new people and new money. So if you don't want to donate this way, you'll donate this way. And if you're at the church, you'll give that way. And if you stumble upon my website, you'll donate that way. So she plastered herself kind of everywhere.
Broad portfolio.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it worked in a lot of different ways. Yeah.
And the thing about the church that I thought was really interesting, because that is essentially what you're trying to do with marketing, is getting people to act in a way that they may not have acted otherwise. And that's exactly what she did. This church had never done anything like that prior to, and I don't think they have since.
I hope not.
Because they were scammed. but she, because of what she had built up and how effective her campaign was, she got them to do something they'd never done before.
Yep.
So it's like masterclass moment.
Acting on emotion.
Yes.
Played on emotions.
She was so tapped into people's emotions because of what her core message was, what she had just dedicated her campaign to. It was a cause that everybody could get behind.
And you think about how you shop, for instance. It's so often based on emotion.
Yeah.
It's I'm starving right now, and so I'm gonna buy this. I have had a bad day, and so I'm gonna go get myself a coffee. I haven't had a shirt that makes me feel this confident in a long time, so I'm buying it.
Right.
There's so many different things that we do that we purchase because it made us feel a certain way. And she was making people purchase because she was making them feel a certain way.
Right. And we may not have something like cancer to market.
Correct.
But the thing that it doesn't really matter. I mean, granted, that was, top tier thing.
Yeah, she went for the top.
Right.
She went all the way to the sun.
So we're not always handed something like that, that's going to just be emotionally effective, but you can still be just as effective because it was the mindset there that you have to understand how the nature of people. You have to understand the psychology of people, how they think, how they react to things, their responses, what stimulates that motivation to do something or purchase something. And so I think if you have that, then it doesn't matter what you're marketing. If it's insurance, if it's something in banking, if it's something in real estate, it doesn't really matter. It's, do you understand people's actions, like what motivates them?
Yeah.
And you have to understand what's the universal message here that will get that kind of response from people? What's the angle that we need to come at this from? Like, you can do it with, it doesn't matter what you're working with.
But that's just how humans are going to behave.
Right. She just happened to tap into a super strong emotion. But you can do that with no matter what your product is. And I think that's the interesting part to me as a marketer. That's the part that I love the most, is sitting with something and you're like, okay, how are we going to move this? Like, what is it going to be? What's the magic thing?
How is someone going to feel when they read this or see this?
Right.
Yeah.
You have to be so perceptive. And I think to be good at it, you have to have good perception of your audience, have a clear mind set on who your audience is, but then also how they think.
Yeah. What's going to make them follow through to the call to action?
Right.
Why would they do that?
Right.
Is always how you operate. Why would they?
Right. And it is manipulation. I don't know if you have to be good at manipulation too to be a good marketer. What do you think?
I think it's less manipulation and more of like you were heading on the road of talking about perceiving what people feel and what they need. It's more of like getting. I don't feel like it's even manipulation. It's more of like sensing what people need, sensing what they want, sensing what they feel.
Yeah.
And then just using that, which I guess is manipulation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like there's almost this line that you're walking as a marketer. Some cross it, but it can feel a little icky if you're doing it wrong.
I guess it just
there's
depends.
A balance there.
I guess it depends on, is it because am I looking at this photo or this photo that I think that they would like on Instagram, or is it because I'm trying to get them to donate for cancer? I don't feel so much like the toxic manipulation of like which one's going to make them like this picture more, which one's going to get them to unethically give me money. I feel like there are differences there in the spectrum of like.
Yeah. But I'm thinking about like different campaigns that you work on depending on the client too. And that's where I think, you decide what kind of clients you work with most of the time.
Yes.
So if there's some that are unethical, that are definitely just doing a money grab.
Yes.
You choose whether or not you work on something like that. So you live with yourself.
That's a great point.
If you want that, to me, can be more manipulative, where it's like we're not providing something that people need, that we're just educating them about.
Or that we don't back.
Right. And that's where I think there's a difference between manipulative marketing and marketing itself. I feel like there is a difference there. I know I'm kind of getting off topic a little bit.
It's more of like a scam marketing versus
right. And this is where like she was definitely a scam. She was definitely scamming people because she wasn't really sick. So she's not. But I feel like with some marketing campaigns, like sometimes you're promoting a product that's super beneficial to people.
Right.
And those campaigns I love, because then you're thinking about the audience and you're thinking about how do I help them to understand that this is a good thing for them.
And will help them.
Right. Genuinely.
Right.
And that's the majority of who we work with. Like that's just because our company's genuine. Like we're not in marketing to be manipulative per se. Right. So any type of like, I don't know if you call it low level manipulation, because marketing is on some level manipulation, but it's more of an educational, like I need to convince them, I need to help them see that they need this. Yeah. That this will make their life better. But when it's just flat out manipulation like she did, it's just icky. It's like a.
Yeah.
But she did it brilliantly. And there are companies that are brilliant at separating people from their money. Like that is.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between marketing something that is, works as quality, you can back, and then things that are just like feels like a bit like a bait and switch. Something that you purchase, for instance, and then you get in the mail and you're like, this is just crap.
Which is basically what she did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or this is fake,
think you're
or not
supporting
what was
something.
advertised,
Right.
whatever. So I just feel like there's a difference, and I feel like it just raises that good point in question. Like, do you believe in all of the clients that you are marketing for?
Mm-hmm.
When you promote their message, is it one you believe in? When you are helping this company to sell things on the internet,
Right.
do you think that it's worth it? The things that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
ethics comes into it. Like your
ethics comes
company's
into
ethics definitely come into it
Yeah.
because that will influence your whole trajectory as an agency.
Mm-hmm.
And like where are you going to go? Where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
Because she had superpowers when it comes to marketing.
Yeah.
She knew exactly what to do. She wasn't a marketer. Like that wasn't even her job.
Yeah.
But she was so just innately talented when it came to it. Like
To a lot of aspects.
you can try to teach people. I mean, you can try to go to college and learn it, but she was already like masterclass when it came to what she did.
I think because, like you said, I think she probably was narcissistic, and so she was had the number one good trait of being able to read people.
Yes. Yeah.
And what to get them to do for her.
Yeah. You don't have to be a narcissist to
be a
able
marketer.
to do that, to be able to read people, but you do have a superpower.
Correct.
It's like people
it's heightened. It's very, very heightened.
Yes. It's like people with autism who know everything about dinosaurs
Right.
or are brilliant with math.
Right. Right.
It's like you just have this innate ability to be genius level at it. And that's what she was.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, she knew her audience. She knew how to talk to them. She knew exactly what to make her core message about to gain the most emotional reaction. Yeah. She knew exactly what to tap into, and surrounded herself with support by building, this whole community online. And, that's what businesses are, they try to do. You build a website, you want to attract people. And then you want them to stay there.
Right.
So it's the blogs, it's the visuals, do you have forms to fill out? Like she had a GoFundMe link.
Yeah.
She had all the things that generate interest and generate that buzz around her campaign. And then having these videos with, fight song and these gimmicky things that just, if your emotions started flagging, like she would time it. Well, here's something else to just pull you back in. You think
so that hits on one of the points that I found, that she maintained the blog, which was called Lymphoma Can Suck It. Filled it with updates, like you said, in photos, and fabricated the medical progress. But this mimics a long form content strategy designed to build trust and authority. The more she posted, the more real it felt to her audience. So it was like
she was in it for the long game.
She was in it for the long. So this wasn't just like, this was like a
turn and burn kind of
campaign to just like raise a little bit of money, like a GoFundMe generally is.
Right.
This was like,
Long
knew
haul.
she could keep this, because especially just the title of it, Lymphoma Can Suck It, like has this like feeling of like she would always have it.
Right.
It does kind of make you feel like
this isn't going to take me down. This is going to be a long haul journey, and
like
I'm just going to fight the whole way.
Fight this forever, and you can keep donating forever.
Right.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I love it.
Another one was about crisis management. When inconsistencies arose, she doubled down. And more blog posts and explanations trying to control the narrative. This reflects damage control strategies where brands attempt to maintain their image under scrutiny, though in her case, falsely and manipulatively. I thought that was interesting. Anytime that the issues arose, she was just like doubling down.
Like
doubling down.
You would think, like when she went swimming at her friend's pool, and this is when people started to doubt her because she had said,
she just gotten treatment that day or something.
She had fluid. Oh, she told him she had fluid drained off her brain. Her friend was watching her kids.
Oh, yeah.
And the kids were at her house swimming in the pool because that morning she had to go to the hospital to get fluid drained off her brain. And then she gets to her friend's house to, pick up the kids. And she jumps in the pool and swims underwater. And her friend was watching her and was like, you don't do that if someone just tapped into your brain.
I don't feel like I need to know anything about anything to know that sounds like a bad idea.
Right. Like,
and that you wouldn't want to.
Exactly. You just had, like, someone had access to your brain, still have an open wound. I'm going to go jump in that chlorinated pool.
Underwater
with the pressure and everything change. Yeah. No one would do that. And her friend just watched her and was like, oh, something's up. And that's when it started to unravel. And her friend started like calling people and was like, I think we're being scammed. And that was when she started doubling down instead of like
being smart and being like, well, the cancer got better actually.
Right. No, she was just like, some people, she like referenced it in her blog, like, people that I thought had my back don't, and they might be spreading, She looked for sympathy and was just like, nope, they're liars.
Yep.
And just the audacity. Like, I almost have admiration for it because it's so
sick.
It's so
next. The fact that she got away with it for so long is like, it makes me feel bad for everyone that fell victim to it. Like, because, you really only are going to give to that cause either, number one, out of obligation, which I'm sure some people felt they were under obligation, or number two, because your sincere, feelings for someone going either for her or for cancer.
Right.
Probably more cancer. Right. Many of those people didn't know her personally.
Especially so many people in that group had it themselves.
Right. And as a person who has just recently lost someone to cancer, it just makes me sick. I'm just like, to know what someone actually goes through when they are suffering. She's claiming stage 4, and I know what stage 4 looks like. Yeah. It is just, you're barely human at stage 4. And it's just, for her to make a mockery of it, it's just so, and make money on it when I'm still getting calls every day about my dad's medical bills. I am. It just makes me sick. It makes me sick. Yeah.
So marketing genius. Use it carefully.
I listened to the Free Dive podcast and became a scammer.
They told me exactly how to do it. Told me whose documentary to watch so that I could learn how to do it.
Listen, if you make money off of this podcast, please share some, I guess.
No, but it's just, I thought it was just such an interesting, after I got over my actual like anger and disgust over it, it's fascinating to look at it from a marketing standpoint because it was such a good campaign. And it shows that you don't have to start, it doesn't have to be some big production. It could be like simple steps that you follow really well.
Yeah.
And like she executed, it was execution, I think, more than the big idea for her.
Yeah.
And I think that was such a good lesson too. Like, it's not always having this genius idea. Sometimes it can be something very simple, but the effectiveness comes from how it's executed, because that part was next level. She didn't have to make anything up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But it was so effective because every single point she executed well, from how she blogged, from the website and how she set that up, how she built her audience and grew it, and creating a narrative. And like, she just did all the pieces genius level, like just
Until she got caught.
Right. Until it came apart. And even when it came apart, just her doggedness to be like, it is not going off the rails. No.
I know. Did she ever admit to it?
She did finally in court. Yeah.
That she was lying about having cancer?
Yeah. But then in prison, like, it popped up again that she claimed to have something else several times. Like, there were so many. I can't remember the exact number, but it was something like 30 documented hospital visits or something within a short amount of time. Like, it was still like, oh, I'm dying. Oh, guys, I'm dying. Like, she could not stop herself. Like, she needed the attention or I don't know what, but.
Good try, babe.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
But having some of those characteristics, though, I mean, are something that a good marketer is striving for.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Use with caution.
So, yeah. I mean, I felt like that documentary was worth watching just that way too, unless you're going through cancer right now or someone you love is going through cancer. You just lost somebody. Like, maybe don't watch it right now because it will enrage you.
Did you ever end up watching Apple Cider Vinegar?
No.
Okay, so
I
that's
haven't
your
had time
one.
to because I've been working so much.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's your next
on
one.
list.
That one is fictional. Well, okay, it's a fictional like docu-series, but it's based on a true story mostly. I don't know if I explained that well, but anyway, that story of that girl is also very, very, it's very similar. And it's gotten me interested in the real girl's story because she very similar. She pretended to have a cancer and got a group of like, she made a ton of money off of it and got a group of like real cancer survivors or people together and how angry they all got. And anyway,
yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for another one like that. Yeah, I'm kind of glad I've had so much work to do. I haven't been able to watch it.
It's entertaining anyway. It
makes me now want to look at, I wonder if anyone has watched what other scam documentary, like what other scams have happened that actually have like a touch of brilliance to them that you're
I can't.
There's some lessons we could learn here.
I know. I can't think of
Not
any
how
other
to be evil, but
scammer documentaries.
I know. Now I want to like deep dive that.
I have to be careful, like looking for documentaries, because some of them are just like, "Ooh, I thought this would be okay, and it is not." And just shut it off. Shut it off. I do not believe in the rating system. I don't think it works. I really don't. I feel like sometimes things are like way like dramatized, and the other things I'm just like, I'll never be old enough for this.
Right.
I'll never be. So I do try to do my research, but yikes. Yeah, but anyway. Well,
this is fun talking about.
It was
I don't know how many insights we gave. If you're a marketer, you understand marketing.
Or maybe you just like talking about Scamanda. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. But I just think it's interesting where we can find. We both came away from that and we're like, there's some lessons there. There's some marketing,
there.
like unexpected places.
Yes.
I mean, we could start a whole offshoot of this podcast of unexpected marketing lessons, and just finding them in the most unexpected places. This was one of them.
What have you guys got? Leave it in the comments. Or your favorite documentaries. They don't even scam ones, but they don't even have to be scam ones. I want to hear all your favorite.
I need a new one.
I need a new one. I know. I have no show right now. Oh, that's not a lie. I'm watching the Natalia Barnett one again right now.
What's that one?
The one about the little girl who's adopted and the parents said that she was actually
she's actually like an adult. Yes. I don't know too much about that one either. I feel like I'm on the fringes. I used to be like solid.
That one is a little triggering too because like child abuse comes into it.
But. Oh, yeah. See, I can't do anything
I was watching
like that
right
pieces,
now. But I'm manic right now. So I'm just like, whatever.
Pile it on.
Pile it on. Anyway, I
don't recommend that.
Promised myself I was not going to forget to find out a question to ask you, and then I forgot.
Oh no! I was so looking forward to that.
Well, Christina's on vacation, and the last few episodes we haven't done it, but I promised like guessing the.
Can you think of one off the top of your head?
I was like, maybe I can think of one about myself. Like, what do I know about everybody in the
I know
office? that
everything
you
about you,
don't know?
Christy.
I kind of do know everything about everyone, but I can't. I'm just
It's
like, it's
okay.
not. It is.
Fine.
We're recording this on a Friday, like.
I know, this
which
is an off day
weird
for
us. Like, there's like no one in the whole building.
It's weird.
So we're just like, we're tired and getting this together. But yeah, anyway.
Okay, when I come back from Texas the next time that we podcast,
is Christina back?
have a good question for me.
Next week. This is none of your business.
I don't remember.
But anyway, I
don't know.
I am like, I'm lost without her. So like, I need her to bring me back to center. Things will start getting Okay. I will bring you all back more Guess the Team Member questions next podcast.
Yes.
I promise. Okay. So
Okay.
anyway,
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Yeah. And you come back and record with me next time too.
Yes, hopefully with an obnoxious Texan
Okay.
fascinator.
Okay. We're promising.
That's my goal.
Okay.
I don't know how much. I mean, this is like a very there and back kind of trip situation. We're not.
Otherwise, you're
there.
Amazoning. Amazoning.
Ambiguity.
Ambiguity.
Amazon's going to be the new one. Great. We're expanding that.
We will be here with Fascinators. Fascinating with Fascinators. New podcast name.
Poor language skills still, but Fascinators.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. We will see you all next time.
Bye.
It's the end.
No, it's not. There's more.
There's always more.
Don't be sad. You can catch our full video interviews on our YouTube channel. Come find us.
And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friends so that we're not sad.
And follow us on TikTok.
And Instagram.
It'll make your day happier, promise.
And we'll know if you do it. Until next time.